Hey, ESPN, I'm Jack.
And I'm Miles from the Daily Zeitgeist, a daily comedic news podcast that answers the question,
what if Stephen A. Smith spoke at a normal volume and his opinions were based on fact and not completely insane? This probably isn't the best way to describe this.
No, you just negated the two things Stephen A. Smith is known for.
Okay, what if The Daily Show was hosted by us?
Yes, but who is us?
Okay, I'm Jack. I'm the co-founder of Crack.com.
And I'm Miles. I love soccer and get very nervous when I'm pulled over by the police.
He's also a former lobbyist who quit politics for comedy.
Yeah. Well, look, we covered news, the president, pop culture, and we're both very big sports fans.
I'm actually named after my grandfather, legendary NBA coach and ESPN alum Dr. Jack Ramsey.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm named after Miles Davis, the legendary heroin addict who is not my grandfather.
So search the Daily Zeitgeist. If you don't know how to spell zeitgeist, like most of us, just type in Daily Z. It'll figure it out for you. On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are given away for free.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood. Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cold check-in,
and we are Jalen and Jacoby
Center stage
on ESPN
on the mic.
Radio. What do we do?
Give the people what they want.
Let's do that right now. The people want the latest news, so the people come to Jalen and Jacoby. The latest news is this. Sources are telling ESPN.com, you know all of our basketball reporters get the scoop, that the Knicks are very interested in a Kevin Love trade. However, the Cavaliers do not want to give up Kevin Love, but they are still interested in acquiring Carmelo Anthony. I have a lot of questions. The first one is this. Could a deal be made that sends Carmelo to Cleveland, keeps Kevin Love on Cleveland?
This is one of those semantics that once you've been around a game long enough, you know that it's just talk.
What?
The Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely know. There is no scenario in which they acquire Carmelo Anthony without giving up Kevin Love.
So this is just posturing? Is this just, look, there's 2 or 3 more weeks until the trade deadline actually comes, so we're still at the negotiating table? For me, someone who wants to see Carmelo Anthony on the Cavaliers, wants to see that finals matchup, this gives me hope that they're still talking about.
Well, I want to eliminate your hope of seeing Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Love playing on the same team.
I don't want to see that. Let's ship Kevin Love.
It's
I'm
not
done
going
with
to
Kevin
happen.
Love.
And you can do all of the salary matching that you want. The Knicks don't want Shumpert or J.R. Smith back. The Cavs don't want to give up Tristan Thompson.
Can't do that.
The Cavs are not going to clearly give up Kyrie Irving or LeBron James. Those are the players in this. So I appreciate the reports, but it's more conversation than anything else.
But to me, it says that they're still having the conversation. They're still negotiating. They still might get towards the deal, and a Kevin Love for Carmelo Anthony trade happens. Am I wrong in believing that?
It's great if you're a fan of either team that they're still talking about it, because as I mentioned, I think it'd be really good for both teams. And I want to eliminate the overtone of people that think we are down on Kevin Love because we're talking about Melo going to play with the Cavs and LeBron, and those are the big splashy names.
Oh.
You pair him with Porzingis in New York, I really like that.
You know I do.
And so being traded, it's like any acquisition. You're leaving the team that didn't want you for whatever reason, and you're going to a new city that's embracing you, putting you on the front cover of the paper. The coaches are excited that you're in uniform. Your teammates are giving you high five. It's a new scenario. Kevin Love got his money in Cleveland. He got his championship ring in Cleveland. He also got benched in Cleveland.
Sure did.
And so that relationship will never be the same. And this may be his opportunity to get to New York City, but it won't happen unless Carmelo Anthony and he are both in the deal.
I think that's fair. Yep. Of course, there's a lot of talk around the Cavs, but some of it to Jalen and Jacoby listeners is broken news. Now there's a report that the Cavs are interested in acquiring, you'll never believe this, Deron Williams from the Mavs.
Yes, we talked about that on this very program when a lot of people were throwing names out there like Rajon Rondo, Mario Chalmers. Here's what you have to realize. The Cavs will not acquire a player to play in the backcourt that can't make open threes.
Nope.
And get a shot off the dribble. That's what Deron Williams can do. Mm-hmm. And did you just see who beat the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night?
Yes.
So that conversation was had on this show before that game took place. Now, once that game takes place, a lot of media members get a chance to sniff around.
You think Darren Williams laced him up a little tighter that day?
No question. So that makes more sense to me because it takes the ball out of Kyrie and LeBron James' hands some, which is good. It also puts another player on the floor that can get you points, but also create for others. But he would know his role. It's not like he's coming there to beat a guy because those days have passed from being in Utah as an all-star, being in New Jersey, being with the Nets, trying to maintain that. Now in Dallas going home, it clearly hasn't worked out the way the Mavs thought it would because they have one of the worst records in the league.
If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, why would you add Carmelo Anthony to your roster? Why would you add Darren Williams to your roster when you can add Lance Stevenson to your roster? Sam Amico is reporting that the Cavs are taking a long, hard look at both Mario Chalmers and the 8th grader, Lance Stevenson. Can I just pitch him for the Cavs real quick?
Sure.
One of the biggest problems. Who leads the NBA in minutes played?
LeBron James.
He's tired. Who wants a playmaker?
LeBron James.
You said that the person that you want the Cavs to pick up is going to do what?
Make plays for their teammates.
Okay. Lance Stevenson comes in for LeBron James, play the same position. Lance Stevenson, all he does is make plays. They don't work out, but he attempts to make them. He's not a stand and shoot kind of guy like Korver. Could you see a world in which Lance Stevenson actually joins the Cavs? For real, for real.
This isn't as head-scratching for me as it may be for some. And let me just show you how the game evolves over a couple of years.
Okay.
Just 2 or 3 seasons ago, Lance Stevenson led the NBA in triple-doubles with like 4 or 5.
Just say that again for me. So just rain that information over me again.
His final season with the Pacers, Lance Stevenson led the NBA in triple-doubles. So this is how the game continues to evolve. He probably only had 5.
Yeah.
Now you have a guy in Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double.
I think
James
he had 8 or 9
Harden
was still.
No, he didn't. It was like 5. And then you have a guy like James Harden putting up triple-doubles in 50-point games. What? You also had LeBron James and Lance Stevenson getting tangled up in a playoff series. And so with the whole blowing in his ear type of thing, I'm pretty sure LeBron could get over that. But Lance wouldn't necessarily cost them anything because they have an open roster spot.
And how long do you sign Lance for if you sign Lance?
You sign him for 10 days
10
initially.
days. Just 10 days, man. We're just going to rent this thing. We're not going to buy this thing. See if it works out.
The ideal things for the Cavs to do to me would be a couple of things. Talked about them on this program. 1, add Carmelo.
Yes.
2, add Darren Williams. 3, add Lance.
Could you do all 3 of those things?
You absolutely can. Because now when you talk about Darren Williams' salary, there's fringe players that you could probably involve that the salaries would match.
It's not like the Mavericks are going for a championship this year, let's be honest. So there's something I want to kind of ask you again. We need to reevaluate this. When the Cavs added Kyle Korver, what was your initial response?
Since they have Kyle Korver, this should put them in a position to be the favorite.
Do you still feel that way with their current roster right now?
Absolutely not.
Me neither.
Because the dynamic got shifted without J.R. Smith, who can't get overlooked in this scenario. His ability to be a knockdown shooter, a heat check type of player, really stretches the floor for Kyrie and LeBron. With him out of the game, they have to work a lot harder. And Kyle Korver is going to be a victim of that because people will be able to stay at home with him, hope to keep LeBron James perimeter oriented, try to keep Kyrie Irving in front of him, run at Shumpert late for a shot, and then the other guys are specialists, in particular Channing Frye and Kyle Korver gets named in that as well.
One of the teams trying to make a run at the Cavaliers' dominance of the Eastern Conference are the Toronto Raptors. They beat the Pels on a game-winning shot by Kyle Lowry. He hit it, and he floated back into the stands just amongst the sea of fans in the celebration. It was a really well-executed celebration after a game-winning shot. However, in the tunnel, he talked to his man DeMar DeRozan, and he said, quote, "I almost did the Sam Cassell." We all know what the Sam Cassell is. My question for you is, does Sam Cassell deserve to have this dance named after him?
And for those that don't know, it's a left-right motion trying to show that you have a lot of courage late in the game.
You are very courageous.
It's one of those things, as time transpires, people think someone discovered something. You hear that a lot in music. You think an artist made up a song, it's a beat for the first time, then you start listening to the oldies, and then you're like, oh, okay. Somebody else had that beat. Somebody else did that verse. Somebody else did that hook. Mm-hmm. So what I like to deem is who popularized it and or who made it mainstream. Michael Jackson wasn't the first person to moonwalk.
Fair.
He just made it popular. Sam Cassell wasn't the first person to do that. There were people doing that when I was in high school, including myself.
No.
But it's the same thing with Rasheed Wallace. He wasn't the first person to say ball don't lie. Of
course not.
People have been saying that since the 50s.
Rajon Rondo wasn't the first person to throw a fake behind the back pass either.
But what happens is people get in front of microphones who probably don't know the original origin of where something came from, and they give it to someone else. Like Dirk wasn't the first person to do the one-leg shot. That was Karl Malone.
And you know what else? Do you know who does that all the time? Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. We're not the first people to say half the stuff we say. Jalen, I need your help. Yeah, I need you to put me on the couch.
Okay.
I got some really happy news that should make me happy, but I have a problem.
Uh-oh.
The great Sean Carter and Beyonce Knowles are expecting twins.
That is awesome, terrific, wonderful, amazing, fantastic.
I should feel good about that, right?
You should.
I don't. I'm disturbed.
Why is that?
I feel like they're on my corner. I feel like having one older child and then following that up with twins, that's my thing. Like, I don't know any other families like that. And I'm not going to lie. When Kim and Kanye were pregnant, I was worried about the same thing. We dodged a bullet with that one. But now we have Jay-Z and Beyonce. I feel like whenever I'm out about in the streets and I explain my family situation, we have one son who's 3.5 and we got a couple of twin daughters too, they're just going to say to me, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like they have taken part of my identity. I know I should be mature enough to be happy for them, but I'm a hater. I'm upset. I feel like they're encroaching on my space. Walk me through this emotionally, Jalen.
I see where you're going, and it almost is a reflection of what I just acknowledged. There's popularizing something and being the first to do it. And while you were the first to have a son and or daughter
in the history of the
twins,
species, no one's ever done that.
They're going to popularize it.
I know.
It's almost like you can't fight it. You can't win, child. You can't get it.
Jalen.
You can't get out of the game.
If he starts driving a minivan, I'm changing my name. If he starts rolling around in a minivan, all dadded out with one baby strapped to him, pushing two babies in a stroller, that's it. Like, I have nothing anymore. I'm just going to change my name, move to Mexico, and start a shop selling crepes on the beach.
Look at it like this. This is what power couples, that's how they do it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Here's the upside, though. At some point in my life, I'm going to be introduced to Jay-Z, right? And
you haven't met him yet?
No. He did go to the movies once. He was in Avatar 4 rows in front of me, and he wore the 3D glasses, and he didn't let his bodyguard wear the 3D glasses, and I thought that was foul. That's another story.
No, he was on the clock.
No. You let your man wear the glasses, okay? No one's running up on you in the
Jay.
movie. No. So here's what happens. Jalen
People
Rose.
run up on you anywhere.
Yep.
No shorts, no sleep.
Now when I meet him, automatic conversation. Automatic good 4-minute conversations. Now I have an in with Jay-Z and Beyonce. We'll be best friends. He'll be co-hosting this show without you, with me, in about 3 years. That's
when
my
he's trying to get out of the house from his three kids?
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Be careful. Jalen Rose, are you familiar with the restaurant chain Hooters?
Absolutely. I've been there once or twice.
We've been there together.
Maybe 4 or 5.
You've got a go-to order called the Jalen Rose.
Double king crab, crack each of them, soak them in a bowl of butter, and then eat.
Well, they're opening Hoots, which is a scaled-down version of the traditional restaurant. Spokeswoman Liz Harmon announced the Hoots concept will eschew the revealing outfits and will feature both male and female servers at the counter. Are you excited about Hoots?
Personally, no.
Why not?
When somebody makes a movie or an album,
I love
usually
where
the
you're going.
second or the sequel isn't as good. And this sounds like a version of that.
Here's the thing. I don't know if society knows this yet. The wings at Hooters aren't that good. No. They're really not. They're not even top 10.
Hit the brakes.
No, I'm not hitting the brakes, Jalen.
I've been in Hooters with you, and you eat Hooters wings with both hands.
Exactly, and that's my point. That's my point. I'm not there for the wings. No. There is a prospect that's signed to the Louisville Cardinal football team. His name, Kobe Buffalo Meat. Are you excited about Kobe Buffalo Meat?
What position does he play?
An offensive lineman, a right tackle. I watched some Kobe Buffalo Meat tape. I researched for this show. He was bodying people out there.
Let's see if he turns into an Orlando Pace one day.
We'll see.
You just wanted to say that name.
What else? There's nothing else to it. What do you want me to break down his high school highlights?
He knows where the origin of his name started. Steaks.
What about yours?
My biological father name is James. My uncle Leonard.
We
took
know
my
that one. I
mother
met your
to the
last name.
hospital to give birth. Thus gave birth to the name Jalen. And every now and then I have people hoping to challenge me on this.
Yeah, someone will tweet me
can't.
like, oh, in 1846, there was a gentleman named Jalen Scott that was the Lord of Scotland or whatever. And it's like, you know what? Again, it's not who was first. It's about who popularized it.
No, in this case, it's both.
Okay, you were first. So this dude, Mark Johnson, was tweeting golfer Sergio Garcia with the hashtag #LetMeCaddy for 206 straight days. Every day, he would tweet Sergio Garcia requesting to caddy for him. Sergio Garcia has granted him his wish. My question for you, is this cool or is this creepy?
It's creepy. Normally you see it. So here's how social media works.
Explain, Mr. Rose.
Women aren't as outwardly aggressive towards men that they may be fans of because they're trying to protect the identity and the relationship or respect of the men they may have in their life. And plus, sometimes on Women Crush Wednesday, women don't just put themselves out there.
No,
like
they're not
that.
like that. Yeah. Nope.
Now
they're smarter.
men, oh man, they're super thirsty for women on social
So this
media.
dude's thirsty to caddy.
And so the reason why I bring this up is you usually wouldn't see a woman, even if she thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, tweet him or hit him on social media every day.
No, you don't see that.
However, men, oh man, they'll tweet and or do posts to women every single day. And the reason I relate that to Sergio being tweeted 200 plus times, if you're sending messages to someone every day that you don't know, you are a stalker.
You're creepy. I think this is creepy too. I would not give in to this because it'll encourage future behavior like this.
You are a stalker if you continue to send messages via social media to someone you have never met. That is creepy.
So here's the thing: is Mark Johnson in his head, he's like, I'm gonna caddy for Sergio Garcia, and we're gonna become great friends. But just imagine this: you're great friends with Sergio Garcia. You two are at a bar, and someone's like, "Oh, hey, how did you guys meet?" You have to say, "Well, I tweeted him every single day for 206 days, and he finally decided to hang out with me." That's just not how
I am
relationships
not
work.
encouraging that behavior in any way, shape, or form.
Simple question for you. There's been news that Ben Affleck has dropped out of directing the next Batman film. I have no idea where this answer is going to go. How many Batman films have you seen?
One.
Are you for real? One Batman movie? Which one?
The most recent. And the first. So I guess that's 2.
Your math checks out. It's Super Bowl week. We find ourselves awash in a sea of stupid stories about the Super Bowl. Here to help us through it, here to guide us ashore.
Which quarterback would you rather have? Tom Brady or Matt Ryan?
Here to pick us up from this ocean and bring us into his boat of clarity and sanity is Captain Jalen Rose.
Whose legacy is this going to affect more?
So we will play Super Bowl Something or Nothing, where I say a Super Bowl story, and Jalen Rose tells us if it is something.
Who's going to win MVP?
Or nothing. Michael Irvin was playing in the Super Bowl, snuck out at halftime to watch Michael Jackson perform. Something or nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Those Dallas Cowboys teams in the early 90s beat it to a different drum. And the loudest voice in the locker room was Michael Irvin. So if that's all he did, nothing.
I like it. A very important story here. There's been a lot of discussion about celebration penalties in the National Football League, and there was some male twerking that was penalized.
You just love intergender twerking.
I do. You're right. Commissioner Goodell was asked about that today at his press conference. Here's the sound.
Would you like to see the rules made more clear, perhaps instituting things like a strict 2-pump limit?
I haven't really thought about that, Tom. That's an interesting one.
2-pump limit in the NFL, something or nothing, Jalen Rose. Stumped you there.
No, you didn't. I'm just glad I'm not one of the guys who that applies to.
Yep. Madden NFL 17 has simulated the Super Bowl. They have the game coming down to a final drive with Tom Brady with the ball, driving down the field, unleashing an accurate pass to Julian Edelman to win the game 27-24. Madden simulation prediction. Something or nothing, Jalen Rose?
Simulation, nothing. Madden curse, real for real.
Interesting. Why do you think, though?
Because I've seen multiple players grace the cover, and it didn't end well that season.
Well, let's continue with curses. Michael Vick wrote a piece on the Players Tribune detailing his career and struggles as he heads towards a retirement party with Gucci Mane.
Gucci!
He also detailed while being behind bars and hearing the news that the Falcons have drafted Matt Ryan. He said the feeling was like being punched in the stomach. He said that he didn't have his reputation, he didn't have his money, but he had that one thing, that he was the Atlanta Falcons quarterback. And at that moment, when they drafted Matt Ryan, that was taken from him. As some time has passed from Michael Vick's transgressions, I think there's some sympathy towards Mr. Vick, more than there used to be at least. And I believe that disappointing Mr. Vick like this could lead to the curse of Michael Vick. Something or nothing?
Nothing.
What? I just made that up myself 20 minutes ago. You mean it's nothing?
Nope. When you lose the type of player that they lost in Michael Vick, you have to eventually replace him. So who was surprised that's not named Michael Vick that eventually they were going to look to do that? And look what ended up happening. They found Matt Ryan, who's lived up to the hype as a number 1 pick.
Yep. Matt Ryan and Tom Brady have a textual relationship. Something or nothing?
Something.
Oh.
Relationships can be just what you get from them. And I always stress, it's not that hard. People come into your life for 4 reasons. To add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Choose wisely. Sometimes, where do you draw your strength? Where do you draw your inspiration? Who are the people that encourage you? Who are the people that criticize you? Are you getting that from a text or an email? You shouldn't be getting that from social media. And so if he's able to have a relationship with somebody like Tom Brady that's accomplished so much and they're not the same age, in theory, they weren't rivals, it's definitely something.
I'm glad you brought that up. The producers of this program think I criticize you too much. Something or nothing?
Nothing.
Thank you very much.
More.
Atlanta Falcons Patrick DeMarco and the New England Patriots James Devlin 2 of only 3 fullbacks to play over 365 snaps this season figure to play a major role in the game. The return of the fullback in the Super Bowl, Jalen Rose, something or nothing?
This is something.
Ooh, explain.
Because in basketball, the 4 position or the power forward position, in league circles, we call that a bastard position. Position that's fatherless.
That's not nice.
And what ends up happening is who plays the 4 on your basketball team ultimately dictates your style of play.
That makes sense.
The same thing for teams that have a fullback. It aligns with, are you going to be a squad that has a physical identity? So relate that in basketball. If Zach Randolph is your power forward, you're ground and pound. If Draymond Green is your power forward, you're pacing space. So the same thing in football applies for the fullback spot.
Packers fans know about Patrick DeMarco because when you are so concerned about Coleman and Freeman and Gabriel and Sanu and Jones, Mr. DeMarco can just kind of sneak out and run a little wheel route. Next thing you know, he's 40 yards down the field. Tom Brady revealed that it has been a very challenging year for his family. There's also been a report that his mother, Galen, has been battling an illness. I don't know if that's a fact or not. It's just a report. He was certainly emotional about his family. Something is going on. We don't know what. Something or nothing.
Something.
I think so, too.
It's always something to have life balance. That's the toughest thing to juggle as a public figure, an athlete, a celebrity, somebody that has a job, somebody that has a career. How you gauge your life balance psychologically, emotionally, with your personal balance. And the better they're aligned, usually it turns out best for everybody involved. For him, I think he probably's drawn that as inspiration and motivation.
That's the thing. I can't tell whether it's going to hurt or hinder, but it definitely will have some effect on him. If you're going through something like that, which we don't know exactly what it is, but he said it's been a challenging year for his family. When your family is challenged, that cannot just be separate from your consciousness. That is on your mind. And whether you use it as motivation or if it's become something, a discrashing, and you reprioritize your life and it hurts your performance in the football field, it is something.
Those who become elite learn how to do what you hear in sports a lot, is block out the noise, which means whatever's happening in my personal life, I find a way to channel what I need to do to accomplish winning this game, getting this task done at work. And it can be challenging, but players like Tom Brady, who are the best of the best at what they do, seem to have an innate way to do that we all should be envious of.
Michelob Ultra, the beer that's only 95 calories, is having a pull-up challenge in both Boston and Atlanta. There are certain gyms you can go to, and they will see how many pull-ups you can do in 95 seconds. The people that can do the most pull-ups will get a free trip to the Super Bowl. What? Something or nothing.
That's definitely something. Get an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, and the only people that would be participating with the opportunity to win would be those that clearly work out often. So it would seem like it's right in somebody's wheelhouse.
If I participated in this 95-second challenge, how many of the seconds of those 95 do you think I would actually be doing pull-ups, and how many would I be standing there looking at the bar?
1, 2, 1, 1, half of 1. You'll get 4.5.
In 95 seconds? Now, how much? I think I would probably spend 80 of those seconds just looking at the bar, just sweating, panting, crying, being sad.
But you're doing a terrific job training for a marathon. Not too many people can do that. Running 11 miles, I salute you.
Got some new shoes.
Make sure you hit me when you feel like you're getting close to the finish line. Why don't you do like the Odell Beckham? Why don't you take your phone and put it in your pocket?
I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about doing some live stuff.
And take off your shirt and take pictures of yourself.
I might have to take off my shirt, but only because for nipple shaping reasons. That's I've considered that. I'm like, I might have to run this without a top on. Not because I'm showing off my body, because I don't want bloody nipples. What? Jalen Rose, one thing we love is power couples. After this heartbreaking news that Jay-Z and Beyonce have completely swagger-jacked me, they're having twins. We have another power couple update. It's not great news. We had always hoped that Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill would get back together.
Meek Mill?
There was no infidelity in the relationship. There was a staircase that did get in Meek Mill's way as he slipped down it, fell into a bush. But Nicki Minaj posted a photo of herself and Drake hanging out. But here's where it gets weirder. The photo was taken a couple weeks ago. So she kind of had that on her phone and just held on to it for a couple weeks and then put it out. It's obviously a message to Meek. Do you think this hurts the chances of Meek and Nicki getting back together?
I do.
I think so.
Here's why.
Explain.
Not because of the picture or because I think they are or will be in a relationship, but because Drake and Nicki are family.
Mm-hmm.
He also had a beef with her ex. When you see your ex with your rival, that's never good.
It's not going to be good. No. Especially when you know, for me, it hurts more knowing that it wasn't just some spontaneous thing and they just happened to be in the studio or at a meeting. They're like, hey, let's take a picture and put it up. It was like, I've had this picture on my phone. I didn't put it up for a long time because I thought it was inappropriate. I didn't want to send that kind of message. But now I don't feel that way. I'm sending that message. Too bad. Drake is also involved with a pop-up club called
Drizzy.
Ballet that he is hosting in Houston with Josh Prince.
What kind of entertainment is going to take place at Pop-Up Ballet?
Well, tasteful dancing, apparently. Ballet. However,
how will the...
Let me explain. TMZ has some footage of some, I'll call them auditions, that Josh Prince was personally holding for some of the entertainment at this pop-up club. It didn't look like ballet dancing. Let's just say that. Did not look like ballet dancing. Now, we don't know if Drake was there at these auditions, but don't you think Josh Prince is a little too busy? Do you think he has to be that hands-on for the auditions for the dancer of the pop-up club?
Not at all. By the way, I got mad love for the Prince family and the OG Jay Prince. No question about it. And his son. They're doing big things. Yep. I think if you have a new endeavor, you must be hands-on.
No details too important.
No details too important, especially when you're trying to woo patrons. And so you have a certain look that you're going for,
There's a certain look they're going for.
Flavor.
There is a certain flavor they're going for.
These are the type of reasons why we're in Los Angeles doing this show and not in Houston, flying to the fun for Super Bowl week.
Malik Monk had 37 points, went 10 for 21 from the field, 7 from 11 from 3 as the Wildcats beat the Georgia Bulldogs. I checked this one out. I was absolutely impressed. A lot of these three-point shots came off a dribble. One of them he was backing up. 7 for 11 from 3. Do you think Malik Monk will be a future NBA star?
I think he'll be a future NBA star because of his skill set, his ability to shoot off the bounce, as you mentioned, explode to the basket, and his frame. In today's game, being wiry, slippery, quick, the ability to get to the spots on the floor and pull up. I like his body style because he's going to continue to grow into it and get stronger.
Yep.
Don't be surprised when the draft comes around if he's amongst the top couple of players that are taken.
He will. I think he will definitely be top 10, if not top 5. Now, this one is starting to get a little... I'm starting to feel a certain way about this. Soulja Boy has now announced that he's no longer training with Floyd Mayweather. He's training with Evander Holyfield. Are we done talking about this fight?
Yep. Everybody else is done talking about it, but this program.
I think we're done talking about it. I don't think we need to update the details on the fictional Chris Brown Soulja Boy fight that's never going to happen.
Here's the more important thing that I want to salute. That you can resolve conflict peacefully without violence, including in a boxing ring.
Rob Gronkowski loves 69 jokes. When he was a high school basketball player, It was a close game, but not too close. He was fouled while his team had 68 points. It was the end of the game. He made his first free throw, intentionally missed the second free throw, ran back on defense, pointing at the scoreboard, yelling 69, 69, 69. Not only that, his mom has been credited as saying that he has been making 69 jokes since he was 3 years old. What? They're childish, they're immature, they're stupid, but are 69 jokes funny?
Not at all.
Nope.
Rob is what I like to affectionately call a meathead. Mm-hmm. And he embraces having an outgoing, fun-loving, boyish type overtone and personality. The 69 jokes are corny.
Yep.
I disagree.
Especially amongst your homies.
I disagree. I think 69 jokes are funny.
How many of those have we ever made in the last 5 years?
69.
My point exactly. I'm going to stop you before you contradict yourself.
You really walked me into that one. You didn't even know that you set me up for that one, dude. Your man Jim Harbaugh is in the news again. You'll never believe it.
What do you
You'll
call
never
him?
believe it. The Kanye West of college football just stays in the news. Now he's announcing that he's not just bringing the team to Rome for a week of practice and educational experiences. They will also go to studying abroad locations for the month of May, and he says that he has already picked out spots for the next few years for this international football educational experience. Is this just a ploy to get recruits to sign up?
Life enriching experiences beyond the field or the court or the baseball diamond or the hockey rink are important for young athletes. This is where the dynamics of sports can teach you life skills. I applaud this. I appreciate this. More teams will follow Michigan and start doing this. And it also shows how's unlimited budgets in collegiate football. Man, they printing money.
Yep.
They really are. How much do 3 assistant coaches in the Michigan staff get paid?
Not only is Harbaugh probably the highest paid coach in college football, each of his assistants make over $1 million a year. That hasn't happened.
Did they put the banners up yet?
They're not up yet.
Are you sure?
They're not up yet.
I will get some homeboys together. We will break in. We will put the banners up. Just give me the address. I will do it this weekend. Where's the address?
1000 State Street.
I'll be there.
Oh, we got a problem here?
We have some news, Jalen Rose. Surprising news. Matt Barnes has turned himself in to authorities, but it has nothing to do with the Derek Fisher robbery.
What?
You continue to try to go there. That's not as corny.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. I've got a 3-year-old son. I can do this all day.
No, it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You switch it on him? Yeah. I spend at least
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
10%
Yes, it is.
of my
No, it's not.
home life is just doing that, and somehow I'm dumb enough to enjoy it all. He's turned himself in for the nightclub incident where he's being sued. He's also got a desk ticket for misdemeanor assault. Some news in the NFL. The Raiders had all but set up shop in Las Vegas until, I don't know, a bunch of millionaires said, wait a second, maybe we won't do this.
What?
Investment bank Goldman Sachs has pulled out after casino mogul Sheldon Adelson withdrew millions and millions of dollars of his money towards the new stadium. If Vegas falls through, San Diego's here like, hey,
What's up?
hey, what's up? They're sliding in the Raiders' DMs right now. Hey, what's up? We got stuff. We got a fan base. Southern California, you've got a lot of fans around here. Would you rather see the Raiders stay in Oakland, move to Vegas, or go to San Diego?
I'd rather see the Raiders stay in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that relationship finds a way to work out because the Los Angeles area already has 2 teams that are going to be the second and third most popular team in California behind the aforementioned Raiders. I never liked Vegas, as you know.
I would say the 49ers, they're going to be 3rd and 4th. The 49ers would be more popular than both
So I'll
the
rank
Rams.
them. The Raiders, 49ers, flip a coin.
Yeah,
depending on what year it is.
No one cares anymore. Yeah.
Who won the Super Bowl most recent?
It's
Rams.
just interesting.
Rams third.
It's interesting that the future of a franchise is in limbo like this. That is coming off such a successful season. Like you don't see that so much. Like they were, a very, very successful franchise. Had a bye week in the playoffs, and yet don't even know where they'll be playing football.
Nothing moved but the money.
No. I actually did something that I promised to do on the show. A lot of times I don't do that. I say I'm going to write a long letter to somebody and I don't do it. But I went on to the internet, found the petition to have the Migos perform at halftime, and signed it.
What?
It is now up to approximately 66,000 people.
What?
If I forward you the link, will you sign it?
I will.
The Browns' interest in Jimmy Garoppolo is real, and they will strongly consider a deal. Could Garoppolo to the Browns happen?
Not only to the Browns, but there will be a few teams looking for a young quarterback that may become suitors. And literally, it's based on a trust from Bill Belichick that the way he played in a short sample size in New England is going to have people feeling like they can attain him and he could be a productive player. But we've seen that work out in the opposite fashion with Ryan Mallett. Comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So we've seen this play out, and to various degrees of success. Matt Castle and Ryan Mallett, 2 cases, it didn't work out so well long term.
Isaiah Thomas is just a whisper in the MVP conversation, but he made a statement. He thinks the MVP should be Kawhi Leonard because he's the best two-way player in the game. Do you think by season's end, Kawhi will get serious consideration as the most valuable player in the NBA?
Yeah.
He's one of the top 5 players in the league, so he's going to be in consideration. The problem is Russell Westbrook and James Harden are putting up historic numbers. So one of those 2 players ultimately will win MVP. Don't be surprised if the efficiency and the record of Harden and the Rockets lands him the award in a year where Russell Westbrook averages a triple-double. And if you look back at history, the year the Big O averaged a triple-double, he also did not win MVP.
What?
Huh. It's a great nugget, Mr. Rose. Thank you for that. There are some people on the internet that have put together some sort of clips of rebounds that Russell Westbrook has gotten, and there's some indication that perhaps his teammates are allowing him to get some rebounds. Fair or unfair?
Fair. Because usually a rebound in basketball terms is the first pass to a fast break. So if you're standing right next to him and he's now going to get the ball and he's going to be up the floor in 2-3 dribbles, other than statistical benefit, is not necessarily a bad idea, but it also shows you this, that they don't have hungry bigs.
No.
Because usually a big guy, that's how they eat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all of the stuff that's around the free throw line and all of those long rebounds. But these ones in and around the paint, I'm grabbing these. Now, what you should do is get a long outlet. That's what we're going to use as the first pass to the fast break.
Makes sense to me. This gentleman in the National Basketball Association, his government name is DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie!
Boogie is part of a little trade rumor here. There's some talk that potentially he could be moved to the Phoenix Suns for a package that includes Alex Len, TJ Warren, and draft picks.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
Are
never
the
gonna get
Kings
it, never gonna get it.
dumb enough to do this? Are the Kings dumb enough to do
No.
this? Even the Kings?
No, keep it moving.
Please
Keep
tell
it
me
moving.
that the Kings are not dumb enough that they would trade Boogie Cousins for Alex Len,
If
TJ
you're
Warren,
the Kings,
and some draft
let me
picks.
tell you who you should be on the phone with. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Can I
No,
do
you
this?
should definitely do this. Pick up the phone. Who should you be dialing?
Let's see if I can say this.
If you are Vlade Divac and you're looking at your phone,
I can say
who
this.
should he be searching in his
Chicago.
contacts? Interesting. What sort of a package do you
Trying
see?
to get Jimmy Butler.
Kings get Jimmy Butler. Chicago gets Boogie Cousins. Who says no?
Under the premise that the Bulls have been dysfunctional in their locker room so far this year, they say no.
Everything will be fine.
Now, this is something you revisit, however, in the offseason. If you're looking to move Butler, and I've stated this, you only move a player like Jimmy Butler if you're going to get another player that will participate in this year's All-Star game. Not last year, not 2 or 3 years ago. Boogie fits that bill. So under this premise right now, in February, the Bulls say no. Now, you make some changes on your roster, see what happens with the head coach, then you may consider that type of move.
Remember?
But they're not going to move them for those pieces that you just talked about in Phoenix. Not going to be able to do it!
Just remember when you hear reports about a potential Sacramento Kings, Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler, Boogie Cousins trade, where you heard it first, here on Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. Mr. Rose, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, a couple of former quarterbacks are saying that today's quarterbacks like Drew Brees,
That's my quarterback.
Tom Brady, could easily play into their 40s in the National Football League. Are you buying it?
I am.
Yep.
The medicine is more advanced. The game is less physical. The offenses have spread. I remember a time where it was unheard of on first down to be in shotgun and have 4 wide receivers out there without a fullback. Now that's the norm. So just based on that, absolutely, I can see it happening.
I can see it happening too. However, when it comes to former athletes, there's always a little twinge of, oh, if I was playing now, I would have played in my 40s. Like, there's always a little bit of like, oh, my career would have been longer if I was playing now. There's always a little bit of like you know, the walk to school was longer when it was my day.
Let me give you some math. Okay. Resting healthy players.
Brilliant idea.
Say, for example, a guy misses 3 or 4 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
Resting because he's healthy.
Sure.
Over a 10-year span, that's a half a season.
Sounds like a really sound strategy to me.
So absolutely, it makes a difference. And it does prolong players' careers, as well as the rules changes, as I noted.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Woman Crush Wednesday. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. Today, as we celebrate the best gender, the female gender, we take calls from our female listeners and watchers. Let's listen to the first voicemail.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Octavia from Houston, Texas. I have an NBA question for you. There's a lot of talk about the Cavaliers and the Warriors, but who would you two gentlemen select as a dark horse in this race that might rise up against these two megastar teams? Enjoy listening to you on my commute home and also watching you on ESPN. Have a great day.
Sounds so pleasant.
She really did. When you get below the Mason-Dixon line, people are just nicer. You know, they're just more polite. Like Octavia from Houston, Texas. Now, one thing I know is where the person is from will often factor into the question. She's in Houston, Texas. She listens to Jalen Jacoby. She had an NBA question. She's an NBA fan. And she just wants to know, I don't know, what's a dark horse that might sneak into the finals?
Maybe the Rockets.
Maybe the Houston Rockets. Maybe.
Here's the deal. Unless there's a major injury on the Cavs roster, the Golden State Warriors roster, for the first time in the history of the NBA, you'll have the same two teams face off in the finals for 3 straight years.
What? Let me just say this. Sometimes the injury doesn't have to be that major. Sometimes you get like a Steph at the end of the season last year. If Steph was full, if he was at full strength, does that series go the way it goes? He was obviously a little fatigued.
You don't think Steph Curry getting injured is a major injury?
Well, you said major injury.
Let it go, Jacob.
No. No. Jalen, whatever. I'll let it go. Next voicemail. I'm right, you're wrong. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
I'm right, you're wrong. We're moving on.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Jalen Jacoby. This is Belle calling from Brooklyn. I have a question for you guys. So I'm just watching all this back and forth with Charles Barkley, LeBron, and it seems like the media wants news fast, the fans want it fast, and the players want it fast. So when do we all slow down and just say, let's play out the year and see what happens? I miss the old days. Love you guys.
Well, Val, you can listen to Jalen and Jacoby Monday through Friday between 7 and 9. We got to have something to talk about. You know, we can't just postpone the show until the finals are over. And I think that what you're touching on is there is this sort of like 24-hour news cycle and social media, and we all know the internet has changed the way that we take in the news. I do not pick up the newspaper, look at the box score to see how well Kawhi Leonard did last night. That's just not what happens. It's on my phone. The second he does that reverse layup, I see it on my phone 7 seconds later, even if I'm at the grocery store. So I think that is a factor that contributes to the current news cycle and how it does seem so fast because the information comes at you so fast.
The league is as exciting as I remember it being in a long time.
That's a fact.
Yes, we know about LeBron and KD, Steph Curry. And if you wanted to dumb it down and say, hey, they're the favorites to make it to the finals, I'm not going to pay attention to the regular season, then you're missing some great basketball. Yep. Because Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double. James Harden is putting up historic numbers.
Things are happening in Philadelphia
Kawhi
that cannot
Leonard
be explained.
is playing like an MVP.
The Wizards are all of a sudden the second-best team in the East after
John
starting 2-8.
Anthony Davis, Boogie Cousins. There are so many different storylines. What's happening in Memphis? They've been a surprise. Mm-hmm. Utah's outplayed a lot of people's expectations.
Mike Conley's coming into form after an injury.
So there are so many things to be excited about in the league.
And Lance Stevenson might come back.
People that truly follow and love the game, while we make it easy to just count rings. Hey, they got such and such rings. We're going to dumb down everything that happens during the regular season. That's why I appreciate the process. Now to your comment about Charles and LeBron. Here's how I see this. And I've watched this change in media because I was one of the louder voices about this. I stopped cursing for a reason. I stopped calling people names for a reason because I don't like it when people do it to me.
Okay.
And at some point, the media got out of control with that. You can talk about a player's attributes. You can talk about his production. To me, when you call somebody a name, that makes it personal. And so the transformation that I've seen media members make, instead of now calling the player a name, they'll say a name, but not use it toward a player. I've seen that happen. Mm-hmm. So in this instance, I disagree with Charles doing that as he addressed LeBron. But if I had to give a bigger slice of the pie to who I was like, man, you surprised me and I thought you was better than that, it was LeBron's response. He got too personal.
Here's what happened. They lost a bunch of games. LeBron got upset. I think that is directly related to his response to Charles Barkley and this whole new sheriff in town thing. He's just mad.
Do you realize any person, including LeBron, you can Google things about them and make it bulletin board material to take shots at them? None of us are immune to that. Because I know LeBron's a basketball savant. He even had a better record than me in this year in fantasy football. Okay.
What?
I would have liked him to go basketball only in his reply to Charles. But a lot of times, in his defense, he felt like the person that was replying. And you know how it happens in sports. Usually the second person gets the flagrant foul or the penalty.
Yep.
So he went double barrel in his response. And that's how I saw the dynamic of both of those situations played out. Charles was wrong in calling him a name. I think LeBron did take it too personal in his response.
You can call 985-80-JALEN and leave us voicemails. We use the voicemails on the show today as Women Crush Wednesday rolls on.
I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
Voicemails. Not Women Crush Wednesday appropriate.
Hi, David and Jalen. This is Kathy. I'm bi-continental. I split between Aurora, Kenya and Oakland, California. Right now I'm calling you from Oakland, California. My question is for the both of you. It's actually more of a favor. The 2017 World Rugby Sevens are coming up in Las Vegas in the beginning of March. Team USA is alright, but they're not that great. So I guess my request is, can you guys cheer for Team Kenya as a second choice? Thank you so much. And, happy belated birthday, Jalen. Thank you.
Thanks for the love, Kathy, representing San Diego and Oakland.
Here's the thing, Kathy. If you want us to take up a team in the rugby sevens, no problem. No problem. It's not like a big sacrifice for me. You want me to support Kenya in the rugby sevens? No problem. I got you. Kenya all day.
Yes, indeed.
Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. It's Jess from Baltimore, and this question is for Jalen. Picture this. There are 2 statues of you outside the Pacers arena right now. One features you in a twerking position, but your hairline is perfect. The other features you in a very masculine dunking motion, but your hairline is very choppy. Which one do you keep, and which one do you have demolished?
Great
Thanks,
question, Jess.
She supports the program. We
Yep,
appreciate
she
the love.
listens.
Representing Baltimore. 2 statues, Naptown. I'm twerking.
Whoa! Your hairline over everything. What? You are hairline over everything.
And I'm in mid-twerk, too. You think I was in 2 Live Crew Move Something video. Because here's the thing. Selfies are what? Headshots. That's what people take.
So they'll take a picture with the statue. They won't get your face in the statue.
Of course they will. You wouldn't know who it was without the face.
You're the best. Your hairline looks great today, Jalen. I know that's important to you. Make sure you hit us up on our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed. Follow at Jalen and Jacoby. Ask us questions. Send us feedback, comments, anything. Just follow at Jalen and Jacoby. Interact with the show. We always take our questions via the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed because we live by a simple motto. What better way to find out what the people want to hear than ask them? First question we have is from a gentleman whose handle on Twitter is stretchmark4.
That's what's up. Is it Jarrett Sullinger?
No. Forrest Dia.
Is it Charles Barkley?
No. Do you know what's going to happen? You know what we talked about earlier? How, Rasheed Wallace wasn't the first one to say ball don't lie, but he gets all the credit for it. And how Sam Cassell wasn't the first one to do the Sam Cassell dance, but he gets credit for it. Someone else is going to take stretch mark 4 from me.
I'll tell you who's going to take it. Hit the brakes. You create it, I make it famous.
I know. People are going to credit it to you. When it all goes down to history, 10 years from now, when you Google stretch mark 4, it'll be like, one day Jalen Rose on the Jalen Rose podcast.
With Bill Simmons.
With Bill Simmons. Made up the term stretch mark 4. And then I'll cry. Stretch mark 4 wants to know, had the D-League been around, would Jalen have been sent down at any point in his career?
Yes, Larry Brown would have definitely sent me down if he could. No question.
You're going to Des Moines.
Oh, man.
In Omaha, Nebraska. They've got this team.
Yes.
And then the follow-up question, would he accept?
They still sending me my check.
That's what I was about to say. The answer is yes to that one. Because you say no, all of a sudden it's a breach of contract. All of a sudden you don't have a job anymore. Great question from Shank Moody. Top 3 breakfast cereals dead or alive.
First off, a couple come to mind that are overrated.
Overrated breakfast cereals?
I love the cover and all of the things that come with the prestige, but Wheaties overrated.
Oh, way overrated. I'll take Special K over Wheaties.
That was the other one I wrote down. I love you.
I'll take Special K over Wheaties.
Can't make this up.
There it is.
So my 3 cereals are Apple Jacks.
Great cereal.
Frosted Flakes.
Also on my list.
I don't really have a third. My wild card would be something random or boutique, like, say, Golden Grahams.
Golden Grahams. See, now one thing you've done as someone who's an astute cereal studier, Apple Jacks, Frosted Flakes, Golden Grahams. Those are 3 cereals that will leave you with a very, very nice tasting puddle of milk at the end. You know what I mean? Like Apple Jacks, that Apple Jack milk. And that's such a good transition into mine because there is no post-cereal milk 2-ounce bowl slurp than After Cinnamon Toast Crunch. After a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you've enjoyed the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but you get that cinnamony toasty milk.
And also overrated, Raisin Bran.
Another great point. Raisin Bran. You think that's good for you? Like, you think that's good for you, right? Look at the sugar content in a box of Raisin Bran. I don't even have it in front of me. Someone's going to look it up. 13 grams of sugar. Over 11 grams of sugar for every serving of Raisin Bran. My list: Cinnamon Toast Crunch, solid cereal, Frosted Flakes, just a go-to, you know? And I've got a little wild card at the end myself. None other than, I'm not saying you eat this every day, but every once in a while, if you pour yourself a bowl, maybe even in the mid-afternoon, got yourself a spoon and watched Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN2, Fruity Pebbles.
Yes.
Fruity Pebbles. You can't eat that every day because, you'll die, but a random bowl of Fruity Pebbles will really treat you right.
I like that.
18 grams of sugar per serving in Raisin Bran. That's what they're telling me. That's ridiculous. And that's honestly, please look up Fruity Pebbles. I think Fruity Pebbles has less sugar per serving than Raisin Bran.
And you're like, I'm getting a bran cereal so I can be healthy.
Exactly. No, you're not. Thank you so much for that question, Shank Moody. Great name on you. Jan Michael Vincent or Jan Michael Vincent wants to know, who has the best pull-up J in the league?
Russell Westbrook.
Interesting. To me, it has to be Steph Curry. Right?
Steph Curry's the answer. That's the answer. Russell Westbrook just has the most explosive pull-up. But I agree with you. Steph Curry has the best pull-up. And his ability to now make that signature shot is what has taken his scoring average back where it was last year, because he wasn't getting those earlier in the year.
You don't think it was Kevin Durant saying, Steph, just be yourself, man. It's cool.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So Raisin Bran has twice as much sugar as Fruity Pebbles.
Wow, see?
Let that sink in for a second. Raisin Bran, twice as much sugar as Fruity Pebbles. Don't judge a cereal box by its cover.
That's like judging somebody that's driving a minivan.
I judge people that drive minivans. I say, there goes an excellent family man or family person, a sound decision maker, and responsible person.
Stable.
And a safe driver.
Disciplined.
You get minivan respect on the street. Don't think people let you in. I was trying to take a right turn, and there was a stoplight line in front of me. And I was trying to take a turn like right at the end of the stoplight line. Young lady put her car in reverse, backed up, just so I could get in front of her. If I was driving a different car, you're not getting that respect.
Yeah, if you're driving a Range Rover, they wouldn't have did that.
Yeah,
they'd give you a bird.
They don't do that at all. I want to get this name right. I hope I do. Hung Yi Wang wants to know, this is a great question, will Russell Westbrook ever pass the ball to KD during the All-Star game?
Yes.
Are you sure?
This All-Star weekend, the frost that's on their relationship gets thawed.
Are you sure?
To the point where you will see them exchange pleasantries, dap. There will be a time that 4 Golden State Warriors are on the court with Russell Westbrook. You heard it here.
I've been to All-Star Weekend multiple times. And you know who you don't see, no matter what VIP section you're in or what hotel you're staying at? You don't see players. Like, where do the players hang out at All-Star Weekend? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you never made.
That don't mean I don't know where they hang out at.
Like, there's got to be some secret pop-up club or some section or something. Like, I always wonder, like, where are the players? Like, I know they're getting it in somewhere.
This is what I got to teach you, man.
Please do, Mr. Rose.
You're right. I never made it, and you never see the players that are participating because all of the fools like me who couldn't make it are there to enjoy the party for them.
Exactly. So, like, you trying to tell me there's no, like, card game or no back door, back room,
of course,
where like LeBron and
those are the.
Is LeBron there by himself this year? is it just him surrounded by bottles of expensive wine?
So here's the difference: they're radio parties.
Mm-hmm.
They're parties with flyers. Only if you're getting paid.
Okay.
To host. And what you do, you go show your face for 2 hours max and you bounce.
2 hours seems long.
To the real party that has no promotion.
Who do you get that text from?
It's like a secret society.
Is World Wide West involved?
He's probably a lead domino.
I love your use of the term lead domino, by the way. I'm going to steal that and pretend it's mine.
How about one of my nicknames being mentioned by Jay-Z in a song?
World Wide West? Also a Drake song. A Drake diss track. Interesting question we have here. And this is from, again, Hong Yi-Wang. Do you think the name Jalen fits an Asian child? My girl is pregnant and I'm Chinese.
Absolutely.
Of course it does. It fits men, it fits women, it fits everything. Dogs.
The most humbling thing I can say is other celebrities and athletes all of the time have people named after them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially blacks, like a Shaq or a Denzel. But all of those kids are African American. The name Jalen, boys, girls, whites, Chinese,
Latino, Asian, other species, dogs,
Jamaican,
pets, anything.
Brace yourself. Jalen Rose is about to explain a movie plot.
Peter Lontai wants to know. Jalen, please explain the plot of Forrest Gump.
No Forrest is involved. It's a gentleman that's uncomfortable in his own skin.
Or the opposite. It's unclear.
He embraces it.
Yes.
He is Jim Carrey.
Yes.
And he never finds love.
Jim Carrey never finds love in Forrest Gump. That's accurate. That is absolutely accurate. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You're far too kind.
We give the people what they need.